In 1964, our country was on the verge of change. Citizens, both black and white, protested for equality and civil rights. They could not stand the hate anymore and would fight by any means necessary. Their world was evolving with the help of many civil rights activists, like Malcolm X, a great historic figure that changed our society. Malcolm X by Melanie Xiong. Malcolm X was born in Omaha on May 19, 1925. During this time, the idea of a civil rights movement was developing. His father, Earl Little, was a proud black nationalist supporter. When Malcolm X was only 6 years old, his father was murdered by members of the Black Legion, a white supremacist group. After his father died, his mother was committed to a mental institution. Malcolm X and his 7 siblings were split up into various foster homes and orphanages. When he was 21 years old, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison for burglary. While serving his time, he began a period of self-enlightenment. His brother Reginald Little visited him from time to time and told him about an organization called the Nation of Islam, or the NOI. Malcolm X became very interested in this organization, and after he got out of jail, he joined. The Nation of Islam, also known as the Black Muslims, preached many things that contributed to the civil rights movement. The leader of the NOI was Elijah Muhammad. He taught that the white society was trying to stop the black society from empowering themselves and achieving success. The NOI even fought for their own state that did not include whites. Malcolm X joined the NOI in 1952 and soon became the minister and a national spokesman. He even changed his name from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X because he believed Little represented a slave name. When Malcolm X became a member of the NOI, there were roughly 500 members, and in 1963, the population of the NOI greatly increased to about 30,000 followers, thanks to his devotion to the organization. Although Malcolm X was a civil rights activist, he was different from others like Martin Luther King Jr., who believed in nonviolence and civil disobedience. Malcolm X taught that civil rights were something worth fighting for and that people should defend themselves by any means necessary. He made major changes during the civil rights movement, including changing terms people call African Americans to Black or Afro-American, rather than colored or Negroes. As Malcolm X grew more popular, he was faced with the problem that he had become more powerful than his leader, Elijah Muhammad. As tensions rose between the two men, Malcolm X's faith was destroyed when he learned that Muhammad was having many affairs with women in the NOI. He felt guilty that he had led all of these people to the NOI, which was just a fraud from the beginning. Soon after that, Malcolm X had been suspended from the NOI for a comment he made. During this suspension, Malcolm X terminated his relationship with the NOI and made his own organization, called the Muslim Mosque. Later that year, he decided to take a pilgrimage to Mecca to show his devotion to Islam. This pilgrimage was life-changing for him. He said that he could call blue-eyed white men his brothers, and there was no discrimination. From then on, he preached all races the teachings of Islam and civil rights. As Malcolm X's organization grew, Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X began to clash. Soon, Malcolm X's life was in danger. Undercover FBI informants from the NOI notified Malcolm X that he was marked for assassination. Later after that, he rarely traveled, and when he did, he traveled with many bodyguards. His life was threatened many times, but he still publicly expressed his views about civil rights. On February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X was speaking at Manhattan's Audubon Ballroom and was shot 15 times by 3 gunmen at close range. Malcolm X was pronounced dead at age 39. His assassins were 3 men from the NOI. Malcolm X was a great man with brilliant ideas. He was an important civil rights activist that greatly changed our society.